When I look at Ezra's intelligence map, I do not see a child who should be pushed into one narrow academic box. I see a layered mind. I see a young person whose intelligence is not just about marks, memory, or classroom obedience. I see a mind that wants to understand, speak, build, question, improve, and give meaning to what it learns. And this is exactly where many parents, teachers, counselors, and education psychologists miss the child. You look at a child and ask, is he good at studies? But the better question is, what kind of intelligence is actually operating inside this child? Because every child is not intelligent in the same way. Some children think through numbers, some think through stories, some think through movement, some think through images, some think through people, some think through silence, some think through meaning, some think through systems. And when you do not identify the correct intelligence type, you may end up forcing a brilliant child into the wrong educational method. Ezra's chart shows a very clear intelligence signature. The core diagnostic engine here is the Jaimini Karaka system. And in this system, the Atmakaraka becomes the sole intelligence indicator, while the Amatyakaraka becomes the career intelligence indicator. In simple language, the Atmakaraka shows what the child is deeply wired to become from within, and the Amatyakaraka shows how that intelligence may translate into skill, profession, contribution, and worldly direction. For Ezra, Mars is the Atmakaraka. That is the first major clue. Mars as Atmakaraka does not produce a passive mind, it produces an action-oriented mind. This is a child who cannot simply sit and absorb information like a storage device. He must engage, he must test, he must challenge, he must do something with what he knows. Mars intelligence asks, what can I do with this? It is not satisfied with theory alone. It needs application. It needs a problem. It needs a target. It needs a challenge. It needs something to fix, build, solve, defend, improve, or master. Then we see Sun as Amatyakaraka. This means the career intelligence is connected with authority, leadership, visibility, ethics, responsibility, and recognition. Sun as Amatyakaraka wants purpose. It wants dignity. It wants to stand for something. It does not want to remain hidden behind meaningless routine. So Ezra's intelligence is not merely technical. It is technical plus expressive. Technical plus leadership. Technical plus identity. Technical plus purpose. Now, the most important conjunction in the chart is the cluster of Sun, Mars, and Mercury in Taurus, strongly influencing the fourth house area of mind, education, memory, emotional security, learning environment, and inner comfort. This is why I would not classify Ezra as a purely abstract thinker. He is a practical thinker. He needs stable learning. He needs tangible learning. He needs examples. He needs sensory clarity. He needs to see how an idea works in real life. Taurus brings form, value, beauty, voice, resources, and practical grounding. So when Sun, Mars, and Mercury sit there, the mind becomes strategic, communicative, grounded, and result-oriented. This gives Ezra's most dominant intelligence type, linguistic strategic intelligence supported by logical systems intelligence. Let me say that clearly. Ezra's first dominant intelligence is not just language intelligence in a soft sense. It is strategic communication intelligence. This is the intelligence of someone who can use words as instruments, words as tools, words as strategy, words as impact, words as argument, words as explanation, words as leadership. Mars with Mercury gives sharp speech, fast thinking, quick response, debatability, and the ability to cut through confusion. Sun adds authority. Taurus adds weight and voice. So this child may grow into someone who can explain, persuade, negotiate, argue, present, teach, sell, defend, and lead through language. This is why debate, public speaking, writing, storytelling, presentations, content creation, law-style argumentation, and teaching should not be treated as extra hobbies for Ezra. They are core intelligence channels. If you want Ezra to learn, ask him to explain. If you want him to understand, ask him to teach it back. If you want him to grow, give him a topic and ask him to defend both sides. This child will not fully awaken through silent worksheets alone. He needs verbal engagement. He needs discussion. He needs the dignity of being heard. But here's the challenge. Mars-Mercury can also make speech blunt. The child may answer too sharply. He may sound argumentative when he is actually processing. He may challenge teachers, parents, or authority figures when the logic does not make sense. And if adults are insecure, they may label him difficult, stubborn, or disrespectful. That would be a mistake. With this intelligence type, the adult must not crush the question. The adult must refine the question. Do not say, don't argue. Say, make your argument stronger. Do not say, be quiet. Say, explain it in a respectful, structured way. Do not say, you are talking back. Say, give me your reasoning and then listen to the other side. That is how you train Mars, Mercury, Sun intelligence. You do not suppress it, you discipline it into excellence. Ezra's second dominant intelligence is logical, mathematical, and systems intelligence. Mars as Atmakaraka already gives problem-solving drive. Mercury adds analysis. Saturn in the career zone gives structure, endurance, seriousness, and the ability to work through complexity. Rahu in Virgo adds technical hunger, pattern detection, detail orientation, and an almost obsessive need to correct flaws. This is the intelligence of systems. Ezra may enjoy finding what is wrong with something. He may notice inconsistencies. He may ask why a process is inefficient. He may be drawn toward coding, engineering, robotics, automation, machines, technical design, mathematics, architecture, analytics, artificial intelligence, diagnostics, or problem-solving competitions. But again, this is not the type of logical intelligence that should be taught through dry repetition alone. He needs problems. He needs puzzles. He needs projects. He needs experiments. He needs real-world application. Give him a machine. Give him a design challenge. Give him a coding puzzle. Give him a debate problem. Give him a broken system and ask him to improve it. His mind will wake up. The education style needed here is simple: explain, build, test, present. First, explain the concept. Second, let him build or solve something. Third, let him test the result. Fourth, let him present what he learned. This activates the whole intelligence circuit. Mercury speaks, Mars acts, Sun leads, Taurus grounds, Saturn structures, Virgo refines. Now the third powerful intelligence is existential symbolic intelligence. This comes from Moon with Ketu in Pisces. This is a very sensitive and deep placement. It can produce a child who feels more than he says. He may have a private emotional world. He may sometimes appear detached, dreamy, quiet, or inward. But that does not mean he is empty. It often means he is processing at a deeper level. Moon Ketu in Pisces gives symbolic perception. It gives emotional detachment and spiritual sensitivity. It can create questions about life, meaning, dreams, God, death, purpose, suffering, imagination, invisible realities, and the deeper side of human experience. For parents and teachers, this is important. Do not assume Ezra is only practical because Mars and Mercury are strong. There is also a deeply internal, reflective, almost mystical layer in the chart. This child may enjoy mythology, philosophy, psychology, spirituality, symbolic stories, fantasy worlds, dreamlike art, music, cinema, and deep emotional conversations, but only when he feels safe. Moon Ketu children do not always open up on command. If you ask, "What are you feeling?" they may not immediately answer. But if you give them a journal, a story, a metaphor, a quiet walk, or a creative exercise, they may reveal much more. So the growth area here is emotional expression. Ezra must be helped to name emotions, not suppress them. He must be taught that silence is useful, but communication is also healing. He must be given reflective tools: journaling, storytelling, music, meditation, nature time, one-to-one mentoring, and symbolic learning. This brings us to the fourth strong intelligence type, visual, spatial, and aesthetic intelligence. Venus with Jupiter in Cancer shows a refined emotional aesthetic intelligence. This is the ability to sense beauty, harmony, atmosphere, comfort, and emotional design. It can show interest in visual communication, architecture, interiors, product design, animation, film, photography, educational diagrams, branding, or any field where beauty and meaning meet function. But because this energy connects with the problem-solving side of the chart, Ezra may not be interested in beauty only for decoration. He may like beauty that works, design that helps, visuals that explain, spaces that comfort, products that solve problems. That is a beautiful intelligence combination for modern education, because the future will not reward only those who know facts. The future will reward those who can combine logic, design, communication, and emotional understanding. Ezra has that combination. He can become someone who explains complex ideas beautifully. He can become someone who designs useful systems. He can become someone who builds a product and also knows how to present it. He can become someone who understands both the technical and human side of a problem. That is rare. Now let us talk about interpersonal intelligence. Ezra has leadership intelligence, but not necessarily people-pleasing intelligence. This is very important. Some children are socially adaptive because they want approval. Ezra's chart does not show that as the main pattern. His interpersonal intelligence works better through competence, clarity, and leadership. He may connect with people when there is a purpose, a project, a discussion, a shared goal, or a meaningful task. Sun as Amatyakaraka gives leadership potential. Mercury gives communication. Mars gives courage. This can produce a student who can lead teams, speak in front of others, organize ideas, defend viewpoints, and take charge when the environment respects competence. But if the environment is chaotic, emotionally manipulative, or unfair, he may resist. So for teachers and counselors, the key is this. Ezra needs intelligent authority, not loud authority, not fear-based authority, not because I said so authority. He needs authority that can explain the reason behind the rule. When he respects the logic, he will cooperate better. When he feels the rule is arbitrary, he may challenge it. This is why he should be trained in structured leadership early. Debate clubs, student councils, team projects, Model United Nations, science fairs, entrepreneurship projects, presentations, mentoring younger students, and collaborative problem solving. Now let us examine the main challenges. The first challenge is stubbornness. With strong Taurus influence, once Ezra forms an opinion, he may hold it strongly. Taurus gives stability, but in immature expression, stability becomes rigidity. So the child must be taught intellectual flexibility. A good exercise is to ask him, can you argue the opposite side? This develops cognitive elasticity. The second challenge is sharp speech. Mars-Mercury gives speed and force in words. The child may not realize the emotional impact of his tone. So he needs training in diplomacy, tone control, active listening, and timing. Do not punish the intelligence, refine the expression. The third challenge is emotional withdrawal. Moon Ketu can create internal distance. He may not share everything. Parents must not invade his inner world aggressively. Instead, create safe rituals, evening conversation, journaling, music, nature walks, reflective questions, creative expression. The fourth challenge is overanalysis. Rahu in Virgo can create perfectionism. He may notice too many flaws. He may become critical of himself or others. He may delay action because something is not perfect. The remedy is timed execution. Give him deadlines. Teach him version 1 thinking. Teach him that improvement comes after creation, not before creation. The fifth challenge is authority friction. Sun, Mars, Mercury can challenge weak leadership. So he needs mentors who are calm, competent, consistent, and fair. If the adult is emotionally reactive, Ezra may lose respect quickly. Now, what are the best educational paths? I would strongly consider 5 broad directions. First, engineering, robotics, automation, artificial intelligence, coding, product design, systems engineering, technical architecture. Second, law, debate, public policy, governance, ethics, leadership, institutional studies. Third, psychology, education, counseling, human development, symbolic systems, philosophy. Fourth, media, teaching, writing, podcasting, public speaking, journalism, technical communication, educational content creation. Fifth, architecture, design, visual communication, user experience, animation, branding, photography, and functional aesthetics. The common thread is this. Ezra should not be forced to choose between logic and creativity too early. His chart says he needs both. He needs a path where he can think, build, speak, and design. Now, what hobbies would support his intelligence? Give him debate. Give him chess. Give him robotics kits. Give him coding games. Give him model building. Give him creative writing. Give him public speaking. Give him photography. Give him design tools. Give him mythology and philosophy. Give him music, not necessarily as competition, but as emotional regulation. Give him martial arts, not for aggression, but for discipline. Give him nature observation, gardening, animals, maps, astronomy, and field learning. This is a child who needs a full spectrum education, not just tuition, not just marks, not just exams. He needs intelligence cultivation. And this is where Vedic astrology intelligence mapping becomes so powerful. Because when we use the Karaka system correctly, we are not guessing. We are not labeling the child randomly. We are reading the architecture of intelligence from the chart. The Atmakaraka shows the deepest soul intelligence. The Amatyakaraka shows career intelligence. The conjunctions show how intelligence combines. The signs show the style of expression. The houses show where intelligence operates. The aspects show which intelligence zones communicate with each other. This is not about fatalism. This is about diagnosis. When you know the intelligence type, you stop asking the child to become someone else. You start building the right environment around the child. For Ezra, the right environment is one where he can question, speak, build, analyze, design, reflect, and lead. He needs structured freedom. He needs practical learning. He needs emotional safety. He needs intelligent mentors. He needs debate without humiliation. He needs correction without shame. He needs responsibility without pressure overload. And above all, he needs to feel that his mind is respected. Because when a child like this feels respected, he rises. When he feels dismissed, he resists. When he feels emotionally unsafe, he withdraws. When he is given a real problem, he engages. When he is given a platform, he speaks. When he is given a system, he improves it. When he is given meaning, he commits. So the final diagnosis is clear. Ezra's dominant intelligence is strategic linguistic intelligence, supported by strong logical systems intelligence. His secondary gifts are existential depth, visual spatial design intelligence, and leadership-oriented interpersonal intelligence. His growth areas are emotional expression, diplomacy, flexibility, patience, and perfectionism management. If you are a parent, do not ask only, how do I make this child score better? Ask, what kind of mind am I raising? If you are a teacher, do not ask only, why does this child question so much? Ask, is this questioning actually the doorway into his intelligence? If you are a counselor or education psychologist, do not reduce the child to performance metrics alone. Look at how the child learns, speaks, reacts, imagines, builds, withdraws, and reconnects. That is where the real intelligence map appears. And if you want this kind of detailed intelligence mapping reading for your child, teenager, or young adult, one that does not force them into a generic box, but identifies their real intelligence type, learning style, strengths, challenges, growth path, and suitable fields of study, then get in touch with me for an intelligence mapping reading that actually works for the child in front of you. Because the future does not belong to children who are merely pressured. The future belongs to children who are understood, mapped, trained, and guided according to their true intelligence design.